Here you go, boys. Say, you both look like you got a furphy or two to tell.
G'day everybody and welcome to Crackin Furphys, the news commentary podcast where the boys and I crack furphies over some cold ones. I'm your publican Drew Agnew, and joining me along the bar are my good mates Dan and GooseGoose. How you going, boys? Of course, that's Dan and Ash for those that can't see the visual medium, which is everyone except for me. Boys, how you going today?
Literally all of you.
I guess visual gags are the best for a podcast after all. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know, like, you guys listen to podcasts as well. Isn't it always frustrating when someone's like, I know you guys can't see it, but definitely I can see it right now, and it's bothering me very much. Like, dude, I couldn't see it. You could have just gone right over it, but...
You know, dear listeners, if you could see what I could see, you'd be fucking floored.
They always spend way too long trying to explain it as well. I'm like, just move on, man. It's not working.
Yeah. And what a hypocrite I've become. And anyone out there who doesn't do a podcast himself, you will fall into the same trap. You'll be doing visual gags all the time, even though your camera is non-existent. But
you've become the very thing you swore to destroy, Drew.
Yeah, I know. It's embarrassing to say the least, but I'm glad I'm here with you boys on the weekend. It's been a little while between recordings, so I'm happy to join us. And Ash is on a trip. This is going to be his last recording for a little while. He's on the trip to the UK, which is going to be very exciting. It's your first time overseas.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I see
I've never even been inside of an international airport before, and I'm going to the UK by myself. So it's going to be quite interesting.
So
I'll be making Instagram stories as I go, recording my cluelessness and naivety. So that'll be entertaining for others, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it, because you were thinking about doing a vlog, but I guess that sort of took too much work. So you're just doing Instagram stories? Is that what's going to be happening?
I feel like Instagram stories is like just the modern version of a blog anyway, a vlog.
Yeah, true.
Because
yeah.
It's so much easier. It's just like in your pocket, you get it out. If something's happening, you can just do it straight away. It's much easier.
Yeah.
Just don't take any Instagram stories involving oranges over there, please. You'll get kicked out in the actual airport.
Oh, you can't stop me.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like
you're gonna make an international incident. Australian man arrested in airport for eating orange in the most disturbing way possible.
That's what I'll do. Oh, we had a very brief conversation before the podcast started recording about buttering them up. So instead of butter, I'll just take an orange.
They won't appreciate that. They'll be nice and sticky. Everything will be sticking to their calves as they're walking past the seats, just full
Be wiping it on them.
Hi, Miss Flight Attendant. I've got this orange. If I don't try and eat it in a really disgusting way, can you please upgrade me? If you don't upgrade me, I will disturb everyone on this flight deeply.
Yeah, like when you're talking about Instagram stories, that's, I don't know. I need to utilize them more on the farm and stuff, because so much like just dumb, funny stuff happens, and I never think about doing it. When I think about doing video, I think about taking a video, editing it, like doing it properly. But that's never going to happen because, you know, a little bit lazy. Don't know how to do it. There's a lot of factors coming into it. So I reckon that'll be good to sort of utilize that a bit more. And I can't wait to see what you get up to. Now, are you going to get duty-free alcohol on the way there or on the way back? Because I can imagine you would make very good use of that factor.
Oh yeah, well, everybody knows I'm a raging alcoholic.
Everyone does, yeah.
No, I couldn't currently at this very moment in time. I couldn't think of anything worse than drinking more, because I had quite a few beverages last night as a bit of a going away drinks thing with some friends, and yeah, I'm a little rusty. You can probably hear it in my voice. Actually, I'm feeling a bit slow today. Probably not the best idea to do that before an international flight, but, you know, not many of my ideas are the best ideas.
Yeah, well, the goose is loose. That's what we've been saying for a while now, so you're just living up to that.
The goose is most certainly loose.
The goose is soon to be loose. Duty-free alcohol isn't actually that much cheaper anyway, so...
Yeah, well, it's 10% off. You get your GST off. That's not too bad. It's better than nothing.
That's not... I mean, it's cheaper. It's not cheap. But The times I've gone, I looked at it and was like, oh, maybe I'll get something duty free on the way back. Nah. Still like $40 for a bottle of something nice. Or
I remember the last time I haven't gone overseas in years now. It's probably like New Zealand when I was 10 years old. And I remember that was the time when the Nintendo DS was out. And I think like duty free, the DS was probably like, I don't know, $20 cheaper. So I'm like, Mom, you got to get me a DS. It's way cheaper here. That did not work. But I tried. But yeah, as an adult, I haven't actually had duty-free alcohol or anything like that. I've only gone sort of interstate.
See, I have never been inside an international airport before, and I never until you just said that, I never clicked that there would be duty-free things apart from alcohol. I just assumed that was the only thing.
Well, alcohol's like the biggest discount.
That's the only thing anybody ever talks about is duty-free alcohol. So it just never clicked for me that there would be other duty-free things as well.
Yeah, well, the other things, they only have like a little bit of money off, so it's not too exciting. But I think the alcohol, just because it's so much tax on it here in Australia, that that's where the big discounts come. And us as Australians,
we're a nation of alcoholics.
Yeah, of course, we're alcoholics as well. And even on this show, like, I'm not an alcoholic, but I've got to try and blend in, blend in with the rest of the country. So yeah, I'm drinking. I've got a VB right here. Do I really? No, not really. But you're trying to blend in. Act cool around your mates.
He doesn't have a hard-earned thirst yet, though. He hasn't earned it.
No, I haven't earned it. It's a Sunday. Went around the farm a little bit today, but not enough to have a drink. It's too cold here for beer at the moment. It needs to be a little bit warmer.
A nice mulled wine.
It's funny because Chantel tried a stout the other day because it's meant to help with producing breast milk. So and she hates beer, and she's like,
she would have hated.
Well, she's going to try a shandy, which is meant to be half lemonade, half stout. And she come back from the pub with a friend. She went there for tea, and when she come back, she's like, I fucking hated it. I'm like, yeah, I didn't think you would like it. I think like a Great Northern would be a little bit too much for her, let alone
and Great
big
Northern
thick stout.
Water.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was a no-go. But I'm not much of a stout guy either, really. I have like one, and it's fine. But I see like guys at the pub when I worked there, and it was just drink after drink, like drinking all night. And you can imagine what their guts is like. It's just like tar. It'd be revolting.
What I've always likened stout to, when somebody asks me, I'm not a stout person. I'd look at it and I think that is just tar. You could lay tarmac with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mate,
are you flying through Dubai or Abu Dhabi?
I am flying through Dubai.
Dubai? Not bad.
I've been told that airport is the size of a small city, so
I mean, pretty much all of them
in and of itself.
Because the Middle Eastern is such a hub for airlines. Pretty much all the airports there are like that, though. So, because when I've gone to Europe, I've flown Qatar, so I've gone through Doha, and the airport is gigantic, and you walk in. And there's this creepy statue of a bear combined with a lamp. It's about 20 foot tall. It's by some famous artist whose name escapes me right now. And I was just like, this is not what I really wanted to see it first thing off a 15-hour flight. But here we are.
It'll be like me coming off my, I'll be having like a trauma episode because I'm so hungover, and I'll see that and that'll tip me over the edge. No, I can't do this.
Yeah, if you want any advice, Ash, Dan's done a lot of traveling. So if you've got any airport questions or whatever, I guess Dan's the man.
Yeah, I think
just
I told
don't
you
forget
guys
your
this
passport.
already. Yeah,
It's important.
Imagine that. Fall over at the first hurdle.
It's a very short Instagram story. Just, well, that was it.
Didn't
Don't
go.
forget your passport. Drink lots, stay hydrated. Try and butter up the flight attendants to get an upgrade.
Trying to orange them up. I was saying to you guys before that I had a bit of a story to tell about flying on a hangover.
Oh no.
So I can't remember if I might have told you this, but ages ago, like I might have told you already. So many years ago, when I was living in Perth before I moved away the first time, I was in the southeast for Christmas, and I flew back to Perth on Boxing Day because I was going to a music festival over here called Southbound, which is in like Bustleton, south of Perth. So I had to fly back to Perth on Boxing Day and then drive from Perth to Busselton the next day. And anyway, I spent the period of being in the Southeast for Christmas just incredibly drunk the entire time, as you do, because we're Australians. You know how it is.
What else do we have to do? Yeah, it's just
exactly.
Hot and dirty here. Nothing else to do.
Yeah. So I was very, very drunk the entire time. And the morning I flew out, Boxing Day morning, I thought it would be a good idea to wake up and start my day with an energy drink. So I woke up.
I don't like where the story's going.
Yeah, I woke up and had a mother, and I don't think I'd probably drank water for like 2 days at this point.
God.
And I'd been drinking a lot of alcohol, and I started the day with an energy drink. I went and I got on that little Rex Airlines plane. I'm sure you guys know the little ones.
Yep.
Little twin engines.
To fly from Mount Gambier to Adelaide. I slept most of the flight, but as it was only like 10 minutes left to go on the flight. We were sort of coming into land. This really weird thing happened to me where like my hands locked up, like, again, visual medium, you can't see it, locked up like this, kind of like half fist, and I couldn't move my fingers. Yeah, kind of.
Right.
And like I was like kind of about to pass out. It was like really weird, and I had to like get the person sitting next to me to get the like people to come and help me, and they got me off the plane before everyone else, and like called an ambulance. An ambulance came to the airport. They put all the electrodes on me, and I had to explain to them. I was like, "Look, guys, I'm feeling okay now. I think it was just the plane that did it, and like I'm severely hungover, probably very dehydrated." And they did all their tests, and they were like, "Yeah, you seem fine. Like we could take you to hospital if you wanted to go, but if you don't, like, you're probably going to be okay." And I was like, "Yeah, I've got a connecting flight to go to Perth, so I'm not going to hospital because I'll miss it." And they're like, "Yeah, cool, no worries." And they just left. I got on that plane to go to Perth. I drank some water while I was at the airport. I didn't just do nothing. As soon as we took off, it happened again. And it was like a whole 3.5 hour flight. And literally what you see on the movies happened to me, of the like air hostess being like, "Nobody panic, but if there is a doctor on board, could you make yourself known?" For me. And I was fine in the end. Like I got there, I ended up going to hospital to get checked out to make sure I wasn't dying. But like I was fine. It was just, you were severely dehydrated because I drank a heap of what are those little electrolyte sachets that you put in your water?
Barocca.
Hydrolyte. I drank a heap of hydrolyte, and then I ended up being fine. But yeah, it was a pretty terrible experience.
Are you looking forward to experiencing that for 13 hours tonight?
16.
Jesus, you're really game to even be drinking if that's how it affects you on a plane. Holy shit.
Well, it was strategic this time. I've got a lot of time to recover.
Yeah, fair enough. I hope it's enough time for you.
Like 11 at night.
That's really weird how like I would expect maybe a bit of a headache, maybe passing out, a bit sick, but like your hands like cramping up. That's weird. That's a strange side effect.
Pressurized environment.
It was was only because of the plane. They told me what it was an anxiety attack, but I was like, I wasn't anxious. I was just severely dehydrated and hungover. But yeah, it was something to do with the plane cabin pressure being different and shit. It was something to do with like carbon dioxide build up in the body, and it made like the muscles cramp in my hands. I got told, this was years ago, they told me what it was. I don't really remember, but it was something like that anyway.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a theory, but I think just because of how fast the plane was going, it was actually taking you back in time, and you were reverting back to a dinosaur. You're like,
that is the most plausible explanation.
You're turning back into like a T-Rex, like, and you're looking at the flight attendants. You're looking at buttering them up, like eating them.
To eat them.
Yeah.
That would explain my voracious appetite for flesh. Now that you mention flesh.
It's a sticky orange covered flesh, delicious.
Marinade.
That's that was my aim with it the whole time.
So what are you actually going to get up to over there? Like, why the UK? What are you doing there?
So I am going to see a lot of bands and going to a few festivals. I'm going to 2 festivals. One's in my jumper cord is stuck to my thumb somehow.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's happening.
It's on your T-Rex claw.
Are you on a plane?
It's locked up. Yeah, so I'm going to see a heap of bands. I'm going to 2 festivals. One's in England, one's in the Netherlands. I'll be honest, I'm more worried about those than the flight.
Oh, what's that?
It's just because I'll be probably drunk the whole time. In a different country, I'll just be a menace.
I mean, you can avoid that, Ash, but
I'm not going to, but I know I can.
You could make responsible choices, or you could not.
That requires a responsible person. There won't be one in sight.
Responsible choices aren't fun though. So just have fun, Ash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No fun story starts with a responsible choice.
No, it's like, I better go home. Then that's when the fun starts.
I'm gonna go home.
Sleep 8 hours. Actually, Tom Cardy has a video about that. Sleeping for 8 hours and making responsible choices. Which
this was also pre-podcast recording. We were talking about Tom Cardy for those who have no idea what we're talking about.
He's just got a video for everything, whether it's calling Scott Morrison a word I'm not going to say on a podcast, or sleeping for 8 hours, or checking your butthole. So,
have you checked your butthole? Wow, what a tune!
Give up, butthole. Doo-doo.
Yeah, so for our listeners, Drew had never heard of Tom Cardy, and we just caught him up on the song "Have You Checked Your Butthole." If any of you haven't heard that song, definitely give it a listen. It is
please.
Have you checked your butthole? Slaps. It slaps butthole. Like, very literally, it's a great song. Listen to about a minute of it. Wow, wonderful stuff. So is it pretty much just music festivals and all that you're going to? Or you're going to see some nice history? You're going to go into the rest of Europe and see some, I don't know, maybe...
discover the meaning of Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very obscure reference to an even funnier band. If that's what you're talking about.
It wasn't, but I'll take it.
Do you know that band that does...
Actually, no, I do know this one. Elvis.
Yeah, they do a song about Stonehenge.
What's
that's
the
way
meaning
funnier than
of
what
Stonehenge? I went through a very bad hole of them about this time last year, where I was just watching all their videos, including the Fox, on repeat.
Oh,
very so strange.
So strange. It's so entertaining, and
it is great.
I like how you say I went through a hole. After talking about a song called "Check Your Butthole."
Oh yeah,
you check in your hole, just
your YouTube butthole.
So I am doing I'll be doing a lot of general tourist stuff as well, just like in between. I am going to Germany, France, and the Netherlands as well. And between, because I'm flying from London to Berlin and then Berlin to France, I'm catching the train, which I think is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Like going through the countryside and stuff. Yeah, I don't really have like heaps of stuff planned for in between. I'm just going to wing it. There's probably going to be days where I just don't really do anything, but I think I'll need those days.
Yeah, that's the best thing when you're traveling. Don't have like just a schedule every day. Let yourself
make it up on the fly.
Yeah. Let yourself just relax and figure out stuff along the way.
Very much not a schedule person. I just make it up as I go, and I think
best way to do it.
That makes a lot of people very anxious. That style of living.
When I've gone on my trips outside of my Switzerland one, which was a bit smaller and I had things I wanted to see, so that kind of needed a schedule. I kind of just didn't really book my accommodation more than a week in advance. Just kind of I'll go here this time. I'll go here. Book this, book that as I go.
I booked all of my accommodation, or not all of it, but the vast majority of my accommodation for the first half, the England part. Oh, I don't even know. You guys probably know this, but I haven't even mentioned it. After the UK and Europe, I am going to the US as well.
Oh.
To meet some friends over there. Oh, maybe I didn't tell you that.
Well, okay, well.
I'm surprised. Literally, maybe about 3 weeks ago, not even that long ago, one of my friends, I didn't even know that he was going to the US. Funnily enough, I went to school with him, but he works for the same company that I'm working for in Meekatharra. But yeah, he just messaged me. I was at work in my room and I just got this message and he was like, "Oi, instead of flying back to Australia at the end of your holiday, just fly to the US and meet us there." And I was just like, "Whoa, yeah, right."
Oh, you've twisted my arm. Go on then.
That part of the holiday is great because his girlfriend organized all of it. All I had to do was transfer the money. It was so much easier. But yeah, I booked all of my accommodation for the Europe and England part like yesterday.
Oh, Jesus.
Got it all written out here. I got a schedule, but
Yep.
I was meaning to turn that into a spreadsheet today, but whether I do that or not, I'm not even going to pretend. I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah, no, you don't seem like a spreadsheet type of guy when you're going on holiday.
I'm not normally, but I feel like it would be very, very helpful to have.
Are you going to get your Excel out in like the airport? Like, all right, this is my this is my time to get on the plane.
My sister was telling me to print it off and laminate it. I was like, I don't want everyone to know I'm a nerd right at the start.
Yeah, there's something very satisfying about just laminating pieces of paper, making them like feel really official. I used to like it as a kid. I even like laminated some Pokemon cards. I'm like, why the fuck did I do that?
Pull it off the laminator and it's like really hot and like kind of like melty, and you can like, it's like goopy,
and it smells just like of like harmful chemical.
Melting plastic, yeah.
Yeah. It's like wonderful.
Like a chemical fire, like.
It's like, well, I can't claim I care about climate change. Jesus Christ, just laminating all these pieces of paper. Bloody hypocrite.
Oh, there's stuff that's not even meant to be laminated, like Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I look back on it. I was like, why the fuck did I do that? Like it's not like I had any rare ones. Like if I had like a real rare one that was worth a lot of money and I laminated it, I would have like, I would have like shot myself. I'll go back in time and just shoot myself in the foot just before I can get it into the laminator.
People want a time machine to go back and like stop world disasters. Like, I'm gonna stop myself from laminating these Pokemon cards.
Got to pick your battles, Ash. I've picked mine. You pick yours. All right. You fight your own war, mate.
Some people want to kill Hitler. Some people just want to save that second edition Charizard.
Second edition. Second edition may as well be fucking 30th edition, Dan. Doesn't matter. It's just the first edition that has the little stamp on it. Yeah. So how long are you away all up then?
2 months.
2 months. Jesus Christ. So you're back in July.
Late July. So the US portion of the trip ends on like the 20th of July, I think. But when they leave, I'm thinking, because it's like we're doing like a West Coast road trip sort of thing. So we're going to like Yosemite, Death Valley, and all that sort of stuff, and a heap of the cities in there. I might stay after they go though, and go to New York and maybe Boston as well, just because I really want to go to New York and Boston.
Because he wants to ship up to Boston.
Yeah, man. I'm seeing the Dropkick Murphys. They're playing at one of those festivals.
Oh, nice.
And they're like one of my favorite bands. But yeah, like I'm pretty big into the NHL, and my hockey team is Boston. It's going to be the off season, but I'd still just like to go there and see it all.
I have a very limited understanding of NHL, but the team I picked was Vancouver, and I feel like I'm meant to be honor bound here to say, go fuck yourself, Boston. I know that's also a Montreal thing, but
it's definitely it's very much a Toronto thing as well. The Maple Leafs.
It's just an American sports thing is just fuck Boston.
Yeah, and like for the NFL, just New England.
Yep, and the Celtics. And the
I don't really follow, I don't follow any NFL, baseball, or basketball. So just NHL.
I like to get into baseball. I reckon that'll be a fun one to follow, but
I just can't do baseball. It's so boring to me when I watch it.
It's just an Americified
cricket,
kind of watered down version of cricket.
Yeah, and when a sport is slower than cricket, I'm like, how have they turned this into something people want to watch?
Yeah, I don't know why baseball sort of looks a little bit more interesting to me than cricket does for the reasons you said, but I don't know, it's just something about it. I think it's just all the fanfare around it. I think that's something the States do so well. It's just make everything it's such a big event.
I think that we are actually going to go to a baseball game while we're there, and I'm happy to do that because it'll be like an experience. And I bet,
get a $20 hot dog and a $30 beer, and
I think it will be like a great sports atmosphere as well because they get so into it. But
I think it's also baseball in
particular. So boring.
I think it's just baseball in particular. They just go to get tanked.
Yeah,
they sit in the sun all day.
It's the same as cricket. Same as cricket, though, isn't it? Yeah,
it really is. It's just anything in Australia, really. I know people that will go to sports games and they don't even understand the sport. They just go there and drink.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to go to the cricket on a nice day and just have some beers with mates, but I couldn't care less about the cricket. I really couldn't. And I think we're talking about like what sports like my son might potentially get into. I'm like, please don't get in the cricket. Like, literally play anything but cricket. Like I'll play golf with him. I'd love to play golf. I actually want to do golf myself. Bryce and I were talking about
just
going
trying
to
to
play
think
golf.
of the worst spectator sport I could think of. And the first, I don't even think you can drink that much at a golf event. So,
like fuck, we won't. We'll
I
find
know
a
he's not
way
here today, but our good friend Thomas is a bit of a keen golfer. I don't know that he really plays that much these days, but I've gone golfing with Tom before, and he was actually quite good. And it was the first time I'd ever played golf, and I was awful.
I should hit him up.
But yeah, Tom likes a bit of golf. If that's what you're in, if you want to get into that,
it's funny because like it was a couple of years ago. Like I wasn't interested in golf whatsoever, but then I'm like sort of thinking like, oh, it would be actually not too bad just being outside hitting the ball. Then I
reckon a lot more fun to play than it would be to watch.
Yeah, and then
absolutely.
Then I got like a couple of golf video games, and I was never interested in them before. Got like the EA one, enjoyed it. Then I got Mario Golf, which even though I'm a big Nintendo fan, I never got any of the Mario Golf games. But I got the more recent one on Switch. I enjoyed that. I'm like, actually, I don't mind it being a bit slower and just trying to hit it in. I think I'll be awful at it, especially to start off with, but I'm pretty keen to get into it.
It's a very expensive hobby, golf.
I just want to use someone else's clubs.
So much money. Yeah, I used Tom's. Tom's got some clubs, but yeah, it's like golf clubs are just outrageously expensive.
Because like years ago, my grandma, she got rid of her whole kit, and this is when I might have even been in primary school still. So this was years ago, but her whole like bag was just hot pink. It was a hot pink thing. And what I did is I went out the farm and I just like got the driver, put the balls down, just smacked them as hard as I could. The ball went flying. I'm like, bye-bye. And I just smacked all the balls and that was it. Then I put it back in the shed. I just smashed, just seeing how far I could hit the balls.
Just lost all the balls for her.
Well, she gave it to me. She wasn't playing golf anymore. I think she was over it. I think she said to the grandkids, like, who wants the golf clubs? And yeah, why not?
If you ever like, that's actually a thing though. It's kind of just like a makeshift driving range, and going to the driving range is actually really fun. I've done that a few times. There's a few driving ranges here where you can go and like drink. So it's like you can do it as a social thing and just get a heap of friends together and go and smack golf balls. And like, I'm really bad at it, but it's still fun. You just go there and drink a few beers and
it's pretty
be a lot worse than everyone else you're there with. Well, that was my experience anyway.
I can imagine, like, I know Dan's pretty unco. I don't know. Are you Unco Ash?
I could be coordinated.
And
I
like,
never know. I could be a golfing savant.
Dan, don't test us, mate. We know. Look, I'm not saying I am no better, guys. I'm pretty unco as well. Like this week I basically did like my first gym sessions at Chantel's gym, and like just like lifting the bar and trying to like coordinate your arms and shit. I was not very good to start off with, so I'll be no better. But I could just imagine us three having a couple of beers trying to hit these fucking golf balls. We'll probably be throwing the stick further than the actual ball's going. And
tell you what,
God knows what.
If Ash gets back from the United States in one piece, I reckon we make this happen next time he's in South Australia.
Ooh, Crackin Furphys driving range session?
Yep, because there is a driving range in Adelaide, which I think has the same sort of thing where you can just drink beers and send golf balls into the
That'd be fun.
Abyss.
Yeah.
That would be fun. We could do like a live recording session. Well, all of our recording sessions are live, but like an in the field one.
In the field, just like
roaming Furphy.
The whole episode's just like just you hit the ball, go poof, you're like, oh nice hit, Ash. It's like very tame, just a very
riveting listen.
You're like, wow, that's a good hit, Dan. Oh, I take it back.
Like a crisp bit.
I take what I said back of that episode of Crackin Furphys. Sorry, mate. Good golfer. No,
like I said, I could be a golfing savant. Tiger Woods, look out.
I do want to do an actual recording in a pub. Like we'll go to.
That would be fun, actually. I'd really like that.
Like when we're in the area, we'll go to like the Beachport pub, and I'll bring my setup there, and we'll even get the publicans on and stuff there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because I said to him, I want to do an episode with them anyway, so it'd be fun, like have it all together. Get beers. Ash can shout us beers. I'll bring the microphones.
I'm going to be broke by the time I get back from this holiday. Man. 2 months is way too long to be not getting paid.
Yeah, and that'll be a nice little check you'll be writing out to all these venues and all that.
Thankfully, all the booking is done, so it's only spending money from here on. But yeah, it's gonna. I know I'm gonna. I always think like I'm gonna live real cheap while I'm there, but I know that's
you won't. When we went on
I won't.
When we went on our Australia trip, like we had a tent. We were having like free accommodation. Every now and again, when we need like a shower and a bit of more relaxation, we get an Airbnb. But we're like, oh, look, we'll be cheap on the food. And for a lot of it, we were pretty good, just going to the supermarket, having sandwiches, stuff like that. But we had like a lot of times where we're like, fuck it, I want a bloody schnitzel. So so we ate out a lot. So you'll be doing a lot of that, especially in the US. We're like, oh, that looks so good.
I'm doing, while I'm in the UK, I'm actually doing, well, in Europe in general, I'm doing a little bit of like hostel staying as well.
Oh, hostels are the
like
best.
I'm actually like really excited for that because I've never experienced it, and it seems like something I'd really enjoy.
The thing is, some of them
it's a good way to meet people as well.
But it's the best way to meet people while you're traveling because you just hang out in the common area and people just start talking to you, and then next thing you know, you're 10 beers deep out and barely able to stand up, but leaning on Bruno from Peru.
That's a past experience, clearly.
Maybe
Bruno from Peru, eh?
I
secret lover.
Every, like,
not secret anymore.
Nope, just ousted him. Yeah, every one of the hostels that I booked like a different one, so I can go to a heap of different ones as well. But I bet you, like, I'll go to one and I'll be like, this one's so much better than the rest, and I want to stay there for the rest of the time. Yeah, I'm actually really keen for that.
The ones I went to in Australia, they weren't too good, just for like sleeping and shit.
I don't think many of them are really that good for sleep.
Sleeping is not the point, but you can also get like private rooms in a hostel, so you can still get the social side.
Yeah. So the first place I'm going to when I get there is a hostel, but I got a private room for those nights. But there's like, I'm sure like most people knew this already. I found this out when I was booking it. Accommodation in London is insanely expensive.
London is probably
so much money.
Expensive.
How much you looking at each night?
Yeah, so the hostels are just insanely cheap. So like I would be booking for like at one point I'll be booking for like 3 nights, and like hostel prices for 3 nights will be like $90, so like $30 a night. But like then a hotel room for 1 night in a similar area, probably even further out than the hostel, for 1 night will be like $250. And it's just like, there's no in between either. There's nothing like that bridges that gap. Yeah. So you can either do the hostel or you can pay the insane amount for a hotel room.
Have you looked into Airbnb? Because I don't know what that's like post-COVID, honestly.
Yeah, so I did actually book 3 Airbnbs. So I tried to. 2 of them rejected my booking, and one of them just never did anything, and it expired. Right. And this was like, I was really trying to get everything booked, and I was like, I can't deal with this because I need everything booked. So I just went and did it all. Like I did most of it on booking.com. And get this. This was a nice little treat. I went and got Hungry Jacks the other day, and I never get Hungry Jacks. Very, very rarely do I ever get Hungry Jacks.
No, you're missing out.
And they're doing that Uno thing.
Oh, yeah.
Is like the competition for Monopoly. I pulled off one of the things on it, 10% off a booking.com booking. I was like, oh, I can actually use that. Got like $25 off of one of my bookings in Amsterdam. It was really nice.
Nice. That works out. Because how much was your Hungry Jacks? You spent like $300 on Hungry Jacks, didn't you?
It got me more off of the booking, like twice as much off of the booking as the price of the meal I got. So that was nice.
That works out really well then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, lads. We've been going on for over a half hour. I think it's time for a furf.
You a bit thirsty, Dan? You be thirsty for some furfs? Thirsty for some furfs?
Could use some refreshing furfies. So sounds like I'm also volunteering to go first.
It sounds like it, my friend. It sounds like it. I don't have any, so Ash is after you.
All right. Story number 1. 24 hours after release, a Switch sports player has already smashed their TV.
Mm-hmm.
Story number 2.
That's true. That's outright. I've never heard that before, but it's definitely true.
That was me.
It was right.
No, it wasn't really.
Wasn't wearing the wrist strap.
Story number 2. Crusty Playstation leads to bomb scare at Boston Airport.
Crusty
Crusty
PlayStation.
Crusty PlayStation.
What's a crusty PlayStation look like?
A PlayStation with a crust. Story number 3.
Yeah, well, can't argue with that.
Man holds up Wal-Mart in Louisiana to activate over 1,000 Xbox digital gift cards.
Oh, that's a good idea. Good on him.
And special story number 4 that I could not leave out. Mount Gambier magistrate finds it extraordinary that couple had sex during police car pursuit.
Wow.
During what, sorry?
Police car pursuit.
Jesus, how did they manage that?
Oh, my God.
So I'm just going to start with story number 4. A South Australian magistrate has described a decision by a couple to have sex during a police car chase as extraordinary. Joshua James Childs, 28, was sentenced in the Mount Gambier Magistrates Court on Monday, charged with aggravated escape police pursuit in 2021 and assault in 2020. He was sentenced to more than 9 months of home detention for the incidents, including a high-speed chase during which he had sex with a passenger. While the charges are related to 2 separate incidents, Childs was cumulatively sentenced. I have never in my time as a magistrate heard that while someone was engaged in a police pursuit, they also engaged in sexual intercourse, Magistrate Kula Kosciavelos said. The court heard how police attempted to stop Charles twice while he was speeding along the Princess Highway in September 2021 with a female passenger in the vehicle. The court heard Childs evaded police before officers spotted the car a third time and deployed road spikes, puncturing 3 of the vehicle's tires. He continued to evade police, driving while rubber from his tires began delaminating from his vehicle. He continued driving with metal rims gouging into the road surface. A second set of spikes are deployed, deflating the last of the vehicle's tires, yet Charles continued to evade police. During her sentencing remarks, Magistrate Kosciavella said what happened next was extraordinary. With all tires punctured and traveling around 50 k's an hour, police witnessed the vehicle's female passenger climb over and straddle Childs. Blocking the driver's view, the female began moving in an up and down motion, appearing to engage in sexual intercourse.
Oh, my God.
Childs was sentenced to 7 months imprisonment to be served by way of home detention.
So you're coming out saying this is a true story. This is just one you put in there for shits and gigs. Is that what you're saying?
That's up to you to interpret. It's story number 4, but I couldn't leave it out.
Well, I'm glad we got the position now we're in, because I was a little bit confused. Obviously, the jumping on top and the straddling is what you would expect in the car, but also not a great decision when you can't see where you're going. You need to be able to utilize the clutch, the accelerator, maybe the gear stick, or even just like the automatic stick.
Or even just be able to see the road.
Maybe she was utilizing the gear stick.
Yeah, well, obviously she was. Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, no, that sounds like a nice time, but maybe not. Maybe not when you're getting chased by police and like. There's no reason to have to get charged more for having sex while you're driving, is there? I don't know.
Hold on,
well, it's dangerous driving.
My audio's cut out for some reason.
Oh,
No, it's back.
Oh.
All good. That was weird.
Yeah, so that was a nice sexy story, Dan. You got me riled up for the rest now.
Well, back to story number 1. 24 hours after release, a Switch sports player has already smashed their TV.
Oh, Ash.
The original Wii Sports was notorious for players accidentally flinging their controllers away. 24 hours after the release of Nintendo Switch Sports, a player has already been captured accidentally smashing their television. Streamer Drew Agnew, 63 man, was broadcasting his online tennis session on Saturday when he inadvertently flung a Joy-Con controller at his television, smashing the display. If you don't send that clip to live stream fails, I'm actually divorcing this chat, the streamer said during the stream, referring to the popular Reddit channel that documents streamer mishaps. You can watch the clip below. Switch Sports is the successor to Nintendo's hugely popular Wii Sports series, which at over 80 million copies remains the company's best-selling game ever.
It actually wasn't, Dan. Wii Sports Resort that came out in 2009 was a successor to the original Wii Sports.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Thank you very much, Dan. All right.
Notorious for many recorded incidents of players accidentally flinging their Wii remote controllers during gameplay, sometimes damaging televisions or other objects. The number of incidents became widespread enough that they were reported by mainstream outlets such as the BBC, and Nintendo offered to replace all controller straps.
So generous. Yeah, well, fair enough. Pretty sure that's true because I've seen stories flying around, and Joy-Cons flying around for that matter too. Just like the Joy-Con, it's actually like a pretty light controller, so you've got to be really into the game just to like let go of it and throw it hard enough to smack your TV. I know TVs are a bit more brittle these days, but like compare it to a Wiimote, which was like a pretty heavy device, and if you threw that at the right angle at your TV, say goodbye to it. Even though it was like glass back then with like the non-HD TVs for a lot of the time. It's dangerous stuff. Put your straps on. Get your strap on.
Strap on. Strap on or get out of the way.
Get your strap on Nintendo accessory and just go and plow some Wii Sports.
Well, story number 4 really did get you riled up, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Story number 2. Passengers at Boston's Logan International Airport were evacuated from a terminal on Saturday, and the local bomb squad called in after TSA agents found a suspicious item inside a Delta passenger's bag that turned out to be a PlayStation. As The Hill reported, agents sounded the alarm after discovering a PlayStation, it's unclear which one specifically, in degraded condition. Not initially recognizing the device for what it was, the bomb squad was called in just after 4 p.m. local time, while every passenger from Terminal A was evacuated as a precaution. Here's a video of the evacuation in progress taken from someone there at the time. Local news station WCVB additionally reports that given the cause of the evacuation, some passengers were even removed from aircraft sitting on the tarmac while others ran out screaming.
Uh-huh.
Dave Procopio, a spokesperson from the Massachusetts State of Police, told The Hill the condition of the console caused abnormalities in the image produced when it was x-rayed, prompting the screener's concern. During the investigation of the object and secondary sweeps of the area, passengers in Terminal A were evacuated. That statement saying the condition of the console caused abnormalities in the image produced when it was x-rayed sure does suggest that the TSA agent can be forgiven for not recognizing the console if its condition was so fucked up that it wasn't even x-raying properly. I'm picturing a PS3 with much of its plastic casing smashed and removed, leaving raw heatsinks and boards exposed like a T-800's face at the end of a Terminator movie. The bomb squad gave the all clear in the terminal around an hour later, having checked out that the console made secondary sweeps. So however terrible the condition the PlayStation was in, its owner can at least sleep easy knowing it's not about to imminently explode.
Okay, well...
that was an interesting article.
Yeah, that's just really strange, isn't it? Yeah, just weird. I guess have a bit of a guess what PlayStation console it is. I'm going to say it's PlayStation 2, because PlayStation 2 was the bomb.
That's it. This recording is over immediately. Story number 3.
Just broke Ash.
Just moving right along and ignoring Drew said that horrible, heinous crime. A Walmart in Ponchatoula, Louisiana was attended by police recently as an angry video game fan attempted to activate an excessive amount of Xbox digital gift cards. Trenton Hassel, 20, was taken into police custody as he threatened Walmart staff with a weapon and attempted to force them to activate every Xbox gift card in the store. The time it takes to activate each card individually allowed police to arrive and quickly arrest Mr. Hassel.
So stupid.
He has a long list of misdemeanors already, including theft of PlayStation games and subsequently trying to return them for store credit.
Oh.
Store managers credit staff for cool-headed thinking and delaying hassle with the gift cards, allowing police to arrive before too long. We credit our staff with some quick thinking under pressure and calm actions to prevent further loss of stock and distress to our customers and our Walmart Ponchatoula family, said store manager Doug Willamette. Onlookers have also commented on the distressing situation. This tweaky-looking guy comes straight up to the service counter waving around a knife and yelling about gift cards for his Xbox. It was a bizarre moment, that's right, said Ponchatoula resident Carlos Pascale.
Tweaky
Surely
is my
getting
new
actual
favorite word.
games would have more value for the guy than gift cards. I hope he gets the help he so clearly needs, said Sandra Newton of nearby Woodhaven.
Yeah, because that's the issue. So I fucking need some fixing.
Get your
gift cards.
Get your priorities
right.
in order, mate. Like,
Take the cash.
Mr. Hassel will appear in Tangipahoa County Court at a later date on charges of armed robbery.
Yeah, that's interesting because just like take the cash and, you know, utilize it elsewhere. Don't have to wait around to be redeeming gift cards. Jesus Christ.
yeah, see, I was actually like, when you said just the titles of the articles, that was the one I was going to pick as the Furphy, just based on it was take too long to get gift cards activated to steal them. But you covered that in the story. So
yeah, no, Dan was thinking about that. He's got Ash covered there. Yeah, this is a tricky one. It's definitely had a 2 or 3 for me. But also your bonus story, which you're like, that sounded ridiculous as well. And I, living in the area, I haven't heard about a getaway car with a bit of banging going on.
I like as well how it's like a guy from the area and Dan just said his name. He's basically doxed him on our fucking podcast.
Yeah, what's the name of the person? Just dox him again because I can't say I reckon.
From memory, Joshua Childs.
Joshua James Childs.
He's got a middle name.
Do
you have his credit card information?
5353.
Why Ash? Is that a name you recognise or something? Or
No, not
Okay.
at all. I just want to use his credit card to book my accommodation. Okay, I am going to just stab because you've done a really good job here.
just like story
And
number
I'm
3.
gonna
Yep.
I'm going to go with number 2, the PlayStation 1, based solely on the fact that I don't think plastic really degrades that well. So why not? I'll go with that.
Not going to take story number 4.
No, she already took it.
Yeah, she took it. She took it good. Yeah, this is a tricky one. Like story number 2, that there's a part in the middle which was just really weird. Wasn't there?
Yeah, when you like were reading an article and you said it was just so fucked, I was like, who wrote this article?
Is it fucking Lad Bible? Where are you getting your news from? Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously, there's lots of things going on in the US, violence, all of that. But this one was just really peculiar. You know, a bit less run of the mill. Not after cash or after just hatred or anything like that. They just want fucking gift cards, which is a bit strange. They had a history of just stealing games and stuff like that before. And maybe they see something on the PlayStation Network where it's like, the Xbox store at this point, if they're getting Xbox credits, like, oh look, this is a digital exclusive game, and I just gotta fucking have it. And I don't want to pay for it, but how am I going to get the credits? I can't just go to Microsoft HQ and steal it. So you go down to Walmart and slap up some 12-year-old who's working there for minimum wage and get them to redeem a code. But it didn't
just
turn out.
wanted all of that train simulator DLC.
It's just yeah. Story number 2 was just really weird. How it's like a crusty, degraded PlayStation. What the fuck? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, fair enough if they found it in the water or something like that. But like, if you got like a PS1, it goes a bit yellow, but it doesn't go crusty. I don't know even what the fuck that even means. So that's why when I asked Dan like, what's a crusty PlayStation, and if he wrote that, just been like a word for like a degraded PlayStation, and he couldn't answer what a crusty PlayStation is. It's like without the crusts or whatever. It's like, so I really want to go story number 2 as well. But I don't want to be the same as Ash. But I'm really leaning towards that. So I'll go with it anyway. But lock in story number 2.
Oh, I've bloody got you guys.
Oh, you cheeky bastard.
Story number 2 comes from Kotaku.
Oh, of course it fucking
Story
does.
number 3 is the Furf.
Yeah, okay.
I thought Kotaku was like defunct.
They may as well be. Yep.
Well, I can tell you with that bit in the middle with the extremely long run-on sentence and then the Terminator reference, I was not overly happy reading that out. That's a horribly written sentence.
Such an odd thing to put in an actual article. Like,
Yeah. Well, Kotaku.
why would you say that?
Well, the thing about Kotaku is, like, they had a PlayStation 5 review, and you'd think a PlayStation 5 review would be like, look, it loads quickly, the launch lineup's looking impressive, just stuff about the actual console. But the PlayStation, it came out right around the time around the 2020 election, when politics and that was like at a fever height. So they pretty much just brought up, like, the review was very much, who cares about a PlayStation? Pay attention to politics, because it's very important. We need Donald Trump out of the office. and like they bring in politics where it's really not needed. And there's a lot of instances in video games where politics and games sort of crosses. But in the instance of, say, should I pick up this new PlayStation box? It definitely doesn't. And like there's lots of sort of times where they don't understand the audience that reads their site. And they do some sort of good writing. I would say within the last week, when Saudi Arabia purchased a 5% stake of Nintendo, they had a pretty good write-up about like why this is concerning. And a lot of people aren't paying attention to, what that country is doing, putting investments into a lot of media within Hollywood and the Japanese video game industry, and just all over the world. They're just investing their money and sort of, spreading their, dirty money, I'll definitely call it. And
putting their fingers in many pies.
Yeah. And I'd say Kotaku did a good write-up about that, just explaining why. But a lot of it's just sort of brain dead. And just the fact that we heard that, and it just made me, without even knowing it's Kotaku, and this is interesting because in the back of my head sometimes I'm like, is it because I know Kotaku and they've been like it for years and I'm a bit biased and I'm just like, dismissed them straight away. But just the fact Dan brought it up, had no idea it was from a video game website at all. Like it could have been from news.com or just any other weird website. The fact that their writing made me go, what the fuck does that even mean? So yeah, that's interesting.
It's very unprofessional journalism to just write some of the stuff that was in there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take out that fifth paragraph, it reads all right. But
yeah, it was that end
paragraph
bit when you said that, I was like, what the
Yeah, that made me just made my brain just
fail
twist.
Like a year 11 English class.
Yeah.
It's just horrible grammar and weird editorializing and
sounds like
dropping
me.
An F-bomb as well.
Sounds like I'm writing for them. And that's not a compliment, guys. That's
All right, Ash. What Bollywood movies are we picking today?
Okay, so I've taken it in a different direction again. I didn't redo the Bollywood idea. So my Furphys this week are based on Parasites. So I'm gonna read you guys descriptions for 3 parasites. 2 of them are real, 1 of them I've made up.
Okay.
So the first parasite is the tongue-eating louse. So the tongue-eating louse is a parasitic isopod in the family. This is a scientific name, and I'm going to butcher it. Cymothidae. It enters fish through the gills. The female attaches to the tongue, while the male attaches to the gill arches beneath and behind the female. The parasites sever the blood vessels in the fish's tongue, causing it to fall off. It then attaches itself to the remaining stub of the tongue and becomes the fish's new tongue.
Oh.
Parasite number 2, the web-manipulating wasp. So, although parasites harm their hosts, they don't usually kill them, if only to keep themselves alive. Not so with parasitoids, which ultimately destroy and often consume their hosts. parasitoid wasps, which infect the monster in the... Oh, sorry. Parasitoid wasps, which inspired the monster in the movie Alien, lay their eggs inside their victims, with the offspring eventually devouring their way out. A number of the species control their host's minds in extraordinary ways. The larvae of the wasp... I'm not even going to try to say that. Another scientific name, which infests... Oh, another scientific name. Which infests the Leocargia spider and makes the victim spin unusual webs, especially well suited for supporting their cocoons.
Oh.
And parasite number 3, the X-ray worm. The X-ray worm... Oh, God, I can't even speak. The X-ray worm is a filarial nematode that infects several animals and humans. The worm burrows into the eye through the cornea and causes retina damage by consuming eye matter as sustenance. It gets its name due to the vision impairment caused by the worm resembling that of an X-ray slide before progressing to full blindness if left untreated.
Well, Ash, you successfully got rid of the boner Dan gave me with his stories. That's for sure.
Oh, if you need a new tongue, I know of a guy.
Oh no, I'm happy with my tongue. I'm sure you would be too.
Oh God!
I was not ready for that.
I saw you take a swig of water. I'm like, oh, let's get him to spit onto his laptop, eh? See what we can do here.
I did a full spit at the pub yesterday. I was drinking a James Squire ginger beer.
Oh,
and one of my friends tried to scull something, and he just failed at it miserably. And then he put it down and made the weirdest sound I've ever heard. And I spat my drink like everywhere. All over the floor, all over myself. It was quite embarrassing.
And the COVID-conscious barmaid was like, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, I don't know where to start here, mate.
I do know one of those parasites is real.
Ooh.
So...
This is the news stories all over again.
I'm not going to say which one. I'm just going to say I know where to start, but I'm just going to keep it a secret.
All right, I'm going to keep it a secret too. And we're just going to sit here in silence, Dan. If you want to play that fucking game. All right, mate.
All right. Get ready, listeners, for about an hour of just dead air.
Dead air. Oh.
What can I say?
Well,
you could just let Drew pick first if you want.
You could
just let Drew pick
just
first.
Let me pick first, Dan. Just be polite, mate. All right. The first one sounds well, they all sound horrifying. I mean, just like replacing their tongue, like they become the tongue.
They become the tongue.
What the fuck does that even mean? Like, fuck me.
It means
this is the Crusty Playstation all over again.
Did you get these from Kotaku? What's going on? These parasites. Are these the writers at
Kotaku themselves are parasites?
Yeah, I was about to say, are these the writers at Kotaku?
We're being pretty unfair. I'm sure a lot of those people are very nice people. They're just
of course,
their jobs.
Yeah, no. But it is what it is.
They're parasites.
There's the tongue one. There's the one that eats the way out, and the last one which into the eye. It's all a bit fucked. I'm gonna say
So you had the tongue-eating louse, the web-manipulating wasp, and the X-ray worm.
Okay, I'm just gonna go the first one. That one just fascinates me, so I just want to pick it just for that fact. It sounds fascinating, just like the fact that two of them pair up and actually like gang up on this fish to take it over. That's pretty cool. It's like an episode of the Magic School Bus.
That's not the show I would have used, but
no.
Oh,
what episode of Magic School Bus have you been watching?
Well, the last one I watched was a parody where they actually went into this into their teacher's vagina and they got trapped in there. So that
Did you watch that on Pornhub?
No, this was just on YouTube. There's I forgot his name. His name's Meat Cannon or something. And
God, that's a horrible name.
and he does just like hilarious, just parody animations. Like he just makes everything just grotesque and crude and hilarious. And I put it on the TV, and Chantel's just like hates it because it is awful. It is awful.
Think of this is the stuff he's showing his young son at a young impressionable age.
Yeah, that's right. Lucas, check this out, and he's just watching this animation of this Magic School Bus just dive deep He's like,
Daddy,
yes.
I want to watch the Magic School Bus again. Show me the meat cannon.
Well, he's only a few months old. We've been putting Bluey on, and he likes it. He just sits there going, ha, ha, ha. It's actually really cute, and Bluey's actually a really great show. I know, I know why all the parents are falling in love with it now. I'm in that crew.
That was like that thing how like kids in other countries were starting to grow up with English accents because they watched too much Peppa Pig. Now there's kids in the US that are getting Australian accents from watching Bluey. That's how popular it is.
Yeah, I just want to see some US kid be like, yeah, nah, fuck yeah, bro. Because, you know, they say that in Bluey.
Drinking VB.
So number one for me.
Going back to the Parasites, just before we go down the track of Bluey too far.
Talking about Parasites, how you been, Dan?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm going to lock in the X-ray worm.
Oh, you would on the complete other end of the spectrum to me. Oh, God.
Which one, just out of curiosity before I reveal, which one did you know was true?
The one that Drew locked in.
I thought so. The tongue-eating louse, fan favorite.
Everyone loves a tongue-eating louse.
Apologies, Drew. The tongue-eating louse is a real parasite. It does
fascinate me.
The tongue of a fish and become the fish's tongue.
Now before you revealed the true one, I feel like it was number 3 just because of its name. It's less scientific.
Yeah, and also it sounds the most gruesome.
But I just want to lock in number 1 because it sounded the most fascinating to me. But just before you reveal it, I don't want to say it afterwards, but like, yeah, no shit. You've said it now, but no, I could be wrong though.
Well, in classic me fashion, I always make this too obvious, and I've clearly done it again because it was number 3. Number 3 was the fake one.
Yeah, just with the name, like the X-ray worms. Like, well, it's not that scientific.
There were, like, when I was researching parasites, as you do, there were a few of them that were named kind of like that, though.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know much about parasites apart from, like, the tapeworm. Having to get it out of my dog's ass, that was not a good experience.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's no good. Parasites are gross, guys. Say no to parasites. Don't eat them. If you
say no to parasites. No, Kotaku, no.
If you're on the grass and like you're looking through the grass, you see some eggs. Don't eat the eggs.
They look so delicious.
You're gonna cop something in the gut, which will be hard to get rid of.
I usually eat the eggs. I'll have to stop doing that.
Yeah, nah.
What if it turns into that episode of Futurama where the parasites just make you an all-round better human?
Like a superhuman? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then eat the eggs by all means. Consume the eggs. You'll be like a seahorse just with all those eggs in your guts.
That's like Drew's just giving up. Just fucking eat the eggs. Like, I can't stop you, clearly. Just do it.
Yeah, just give yourself a parasite, you fucking idiot.
Just stop fucking eating the eggs.
Oh, golly.
Yeah. Nah, I love chicken eggs, but tapeworm eggs, no good. They're not as versatile as like a bird egg either.
Yeah, you can't put them in a bacon and egg sandwich.
No.
You can't make a cake with them.
No. You can just make a real sort of weak gut with them.
They do make a mean hollandaise sauce, though.
Everyone knows the best hollandaise is made with tapeworms.
It makes you look at pasta a lot differently as well.
Fettuccine in
carbonara.
Yes.
Tapeworms flat? They are, aren't they?
They're
like wide.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
like fettuccine.
They're fucking horrendous. Like, oh my god, it was. Because like every now and again,
tapeworm's one that's named really simply. It just looks like tape.
Yeah,
it's a worm. It looks like tape. It's a tapeworm.
It's got like obviously a scientific name, but it says you just
tapeworm is disgusting us.
Yeah, because like they're a big thing in sheep as well, and you drench sheep and sort of protect them from them each year as well. And every now and again, like if you've got a bad problem in a flock, you've got them in the yards, they'll do poo and there'll just be worms everywhere. It's just, it's no good. It's just fucking horrendous. Parasites, no good. That's why they're called parasites. Otherwise, they'd be called just bugs inside you that you enjoy having inside your bum.
On the other hand, the movie Parasite, quite good.
Oh, yeah.
Actual Parasite's bad. Movie Parasite, good.
I don't know that I've seen that.
on Stan, I believe.
I think I've heard the name, but
yeah, it won Best Picture last year.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, I know what you're
Korean
talking
one.
about. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah, the Korean movie.
I haven't seen it. I've just heard good things. So it's on Stan.
So Korean Parasite, good. Tapeworm Parasite, bad.
Yeah, I've had enough of Parasites,
Alright,
guys. Yeah, that's enough. So that brings us to the end of the show, boys. Anything else you'd like to say before we head on off out the bar?
Happy travels, GooseGoose.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of months in between shows.
Would like to say that I'm going to miss you guys and doing this. I honestly considered taking my microphone and laptop so I could go over there, but I'm like, they're definitely going to get stolen if I do that.
Yeah,
so.
no. Just enjoy yourself, have fun, and hopefully you have a lot of story, or you will have a lot of stories when you get back, I dare say, won't you? Be a lot of fun.
If I ever get back at all.
I hope you get back. Just, look after yourself, be safe. When you're
we'll miss you here too, and miss waking you up early in the morning like we did today.
If you guys are still recording and putting them up, I'll endeavour to listen while I'm over there.
Listen to yourself talk.
Yeah. I mean, if you record any new episodes while I'm not on, listen to those ones.
No.
Are you guys the same? Drew, you're probably not because you'd be really used to it by now with all your editing and stuff, but I can't stand listening to my own voice in recordings.
I can't stand it.
I just can't. So, I've never listened to an episode of this show that's had me on it. I've never done it.
It's definitely something you get used to. You don't start off just being like, oh yeah, no, I'll sound good. I'll listen to myself. But you do get you do get used to listening to yourself. Like even now, I've got my headphones on. I can hear myself talk while I'm monitoring all the audio. So even now, I'm listening. Like it sounds weird if I take them off and I'm just talking without actually hearing it back. It sounds weird to me now. Just got used to it. It's something you get used to. But yeah, as a kid, I used to have this little portable tape recorder with 2 microphones on it, and it records directly to a cassette tape. And I would record I don't know what the fuck I record. I think I recorded all sorts of things from the radio, the TV, bits and bobs here and there. And listening to myself back was really weird. But yeah, it's something you get used to. But
that's very old school detective of you, like the cassette recorder with the 2 microphones.
Yeah, well, it was like this. It could have even been literally a Fisher-Price one. It was like real bright with red, green, all these different colored keys on it. And the microphones had a red tip as well. It's just looked like a real little kid sort of portable recorder thing. I don't know where it's gone. Should use it for a podcast one day. Record to a cassette tape.
Yeah, you should get it out. We should record on that.
That'd be pretty fun. But obviously you can't upload it or whatever. But just sell it as a tape, one-off tape. Someone's own personal podcast.
Collector's edition.
Yeah. No. I don't even have a CD player at the moment.
Item for our 2 fans.
Our 2 fans, just I don't know, you
and someone else.
One of them being Tom, who's normally on the show.
Yeah, Ollie and Tom. One of them is normally on the show, and the other is one of Drew's best mates.
Yeah, actually, out of curiosity, do you guys download the show?
Well, I would if you uploaded the backlog.
No, well, when I do you guys download it?
Yeah, I think so. I've got it set to auto download. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because I'm just curious whether the download numbers include us.
They probably do.
Yeah.
As soon as the review function on Spotify went live, immediately I went and gave it a 5-star review.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got it. Oh, good boy. Well done.
Just that artificial inflation,
Yeah.
So for the one person who's listening to this who isn't directly connected to us, can you please go do that?
Just make sure it's 5 though.
Yeah,
5 only.
Yeah, someone who
will be a very upset boy if it's not.
Yeah, definitely. If you're listening to this and you're not one of us 3, you're a very unique person. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for your time. And if you want to check out the rest of our podcast, you can go and check them out at patreon.com/idruby. But until then, guys, this episode of Crackin Furphys is over. I'll see you in a couple of months, Ash, and Dan, I'll see you next week.
I'll see you when I'm looking at you.
You will. Catch you, boys. Ash is going on a holiday. And we're gonna miss his face. Crackin Furphys is lovingly crafted and recorded in the southeast of South Australia. The show is produced and hosted by me, Drew Agnew, and my co-hosts are Ash Wallace, Daniel Tredray, and Thomas McRobert. If you enjoy my work here as well as on my other podcasts, The House of Mario, Encore at The House of Mario, and A Drew Story, help spread the word by sharing us with a mate or leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you would like to show further support and help me achieve my goal of freeing up one working day a week to spend more time refining and creating podcasts, please consider checking out patreon.com/idruby, where for only $1 you get access to my secret recordings where I share everything behind the scenes. A big thank you to the legend Deejaayy for supporting the content at the podcast producer level on Patreon. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.